Welcome everyone. My name is Manish Shah and I'm Professor of Management at the Lake Forest Graduate School. Let me introduce today's speaker. Dr. Shailesh Mehta, or we call him Dr. Shailesh Anandji, is a practicing ophthalmologist who owns a hospital in Vadodara, India. From his childhood, he was curious about deeper truths of life. He came in touch with self-realized holistic scientist Sri M. Patel. Dr. Mehta attained self-realization in 1977. Dr. Mehta is a celibate and is deeply experienced in the field of holistic inner science. I'm in studying, researching, and spreading the message of holistic inner science. In his quest to spread the message of holistic science, he has traveled to countries such as USA, UK, and New Zealand. His speeches on holistic science have been very well received at national and international conferences. Books on holistic science, which include Holistic Science and Integral Living, and the Science of Liberation. Welcome, Shailesh Anandji.
My hearty greetings to all of you across the world.
So, Shailesh Anandji, we are continuing our journey into exploring the ways that can give us happiness, worldly happiness at this point. So today's topic is clashes. So obtaining happiness by avoiding clashes. So if you can give us a sort of an introduction on what are the causes of clashes in today's world, and what are some of the things we could do to avoid those? Could be at personal or could be at a professional level.
Yeah, if you can repeat that, your voice was interrupted for me.
Sure. So what can we do to avoid clashes? First of all, why do clashes happen in today's day and age, both in personal life and professional life? And if you have some remedies to avoid those clashes.
Okay. So as you said initially, the holistic inner science or the discover the world within, we all are exploring the understanding and ways by which we can have happy, harmonious, meaningful, and positive living, even amidst the adverse or testing circumstances. And from that, we also wish to travel to our ultimate destination of bliss. So, in that journey, we have several understandings, and one of that, we all experience that though all of us want to have happy, harmonious living, that harmony is so many times disrupted, especially when we have clashes within us and outside us. It's very easy to know or identify the clashes occurring in the day. We may have at least a few difference of opinions, and that difference of opinions may turn out to a smaller or a bigger clash, is sometimes expressive, sometimes not expressed, but kept within us. At the place of work or professional place, also we have many differences of opinions with our colleagues, with our superiors, or with our staff or inferiors. And these differences of opinions, when we try to hold on to them, or when we try to convince the other people, no. So clashes is lack of harmony within us, as well as with outside in the interconnected living. Relation maybe a family relation, maybe a professional relation, maybe a social relation, maybe working at NGOs. Whenever the two or more people come together in any interactive dealings, and my way of thinking or perception and the other's way of thinking or perception is going to be somewhat different, and the clashes may happen. Now let's first understand the logic question is, why avoid clashes? What's wrong in insisting or trying to convince my message or my perception or what I believe to be true? Yes, but if I look within, then we all experience that no sooner we have clashes, we lose our harmony, we lose our happiness, negativity creeps in, our mood goes off, and so many things. So holistic science says that the clashes lead to lot of disruption of inner energy, lot of disruption of harmony, and other negative effects. So that's why we want to avoid clashes. Now, as you said, why the clashes occur? Because I feel that I am right. Manish Bhai feels I am right. Mahen Bhai feels I am right. Rajini Bhai feels I am right. Everybody will feel that I am right. Yes, that's a natural condition. I have all the right to put forward my viewpoint, but lovingly, caringly, sharingly in an amicable way. No sooner I try to hold on to it, no sooner I try to become forceful, insistent, or adamant, the other fellow will also react or respond the same way, and the clashes will happen. So the very basic of clashes starts with my or everyone's belief that I am right, and then holding on to it. I can't let go my perception or my truth, and I become insistent or adamant. So now, as you said, because if I have a clash with my wife, my tea on dining table is not going to be very good. Or even though all food is good on the dining table, neither me, neither she will be enjoying the food, and our mind will be stuck in those clashes only. So having realized that we want to avoid clash, so what is the key to avoid clash? So when I feel that I am right and I have all the right to put forward my viewpoint in a loving, caring, sharing, amicable way, but then I have to realize that everyone is right by his or her own viewpoints. And no sooner it comes to me that as I am feeling I am right, the other person also has a right, and she or he also may be right. So, with that awareness and that understanding, now I will decide to resolve the situation amicably with equanimity. Sometimes the people ask us, does it mean to avoid clashes means I have to let go every time? I have to give up every time? No, 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 no. Don't learn that. Giving up or letting go is something like pressing a spring. You are suppressing your feelings, you are suppressing your inner voice, and sometimes it will rebound so forcefully that it will throw away everything. No, it's not like letting go, it's not like giving up. What I decide to avoid clash, what I decide to avoid clash, my inner wisdom, my inner understanding, my inner light. You can say it a light coming from the God within, shows me the way how to resolve this situation or solve it without coming into clashes. So there is always a solution without getting into clashes. But I need to decide that I want to avoid clashes. Now the second part comes in. So many times people say that I tried to avoid clashes. I don't want to have clashes, but he or she is bent on. So what can I do? Yes, the next step is even though the other people try to force me to avoid clashes, what will generate extra understanding within me? The holistic science says it is a common sense. Now, if you ask your students or all the colleagues, how much common sense do you have? Then everybody will say, like IQ, we have 105 out of 100 or 110 out of 100. We are having a lot of common sense. But the holistic science says the definition of common sense is applicable everywhere theoretically as well as practically, which can resolve any conflicting situation without mind or heart breaking apart. And with that thermometer, if I now try to see my common sense, from my side, I would try to decide, I would rather try to resolve the situation amicably. My common sense goes on increasing, and even if the other people or situations are thrusting upon clashes on me, I'll be able to sail without having the clashes. So this is a general scenario which we discussed. But then the clashes has lot of more I may sort of resolve the situation with Manish Bhai or with Rajni Bhai amicably outside. But as long as my mind or my intellect is not getting resolving answer, it is not getting satisfied, it keeps on bubbling within me that, okay, but Manish Bhai always does what he wants to do. He never leaves out the thing. He's very adamant, and Rajni Bhai always does his way. And in your USA, you use the word highway or my way, right? So highway or my way is the extreme form of clashes. So within me, I need to have some holistic understanding which can resolve my inner clashes, which can give the convincing answer to my mind, my intellect, and my inner clashes. So as the clashes outside are important, the clashes occurring within me are still more important, and they will take harmony, they will take away my harmony, they will take away my peace, they will make me and have some understanding which can give us the resolving answer. So I think this is the basic from where we can start, and then we can of course have your questions. And no sooner we decide that, our understanding expands so much, because in a relative or worldly view, no person is absolutely true, no person is absolutely wrong. It's in perspectives, it's in reference to the situation, that there may be so many aspects, so many viewpoints, so many different things which can to a particular situation or to a particular thing. And once my this inner vision goes on opening, it leads to the relative pluralism, or in a scriptural language, something like a Shadwad, which views all the facets of everything, and not a single viewpoint is hurt, none of the aspect is hurt, and still it is truth. So this is how we progress, and holistic science guarantees that if you follow even a single vision, this vision, avoid clashes, you can reach to ultimate truth, absolute truth, or the ultimate bliss. This has such a magnificent power into that, that once the understanding goes on opening, it can lead us to now. I think I'll wait for your questions.
Sure. So, Shailesh, it said here there is a saying that common sense is not that common.
Yes.
And you said you can increase your common sense. So, what are some ways that will help us increase that common sense? Because you said common sense is really powerful in terms of helping us avoiding clashes. So, how can
Yes.
we grow our common sense?
So common sense, again, if we revise the holistic science definition, it is applicable everywhere, theoretically as well as practically, which can resolve any difficult or conflicting situation without getting mind or heart breaking apart. So first and foremost is this simple sentence: I want to avoid clashes, will lead my common sense to go on increasing or accumulating more and more. Now, as I decide to avoid clashes, naturally, I have to understand the viewpoints of others. What is your viewpoint? Why there are clashes, or why there are differences of opinions are all right. But if I understand what is the viewpoint, from which perspective Manish Bhai wants to suggest this, from which perspective Mahen Bhai is trying to say this, or from which viewpoint, automatically there will be no clash and the common sense will resolve everything. So the second step is try to understand the viewpoint of others. You can tell it empathy or whatever word you want to use it, but it is our common experience that even before I listen fully, even before the others finish their speaking, my machine starts reacting and giving answers or giving my perceptions. So people say be a good listener, but I say try to understand others' viewpoints, try to understand what they want to convey, what they want to say us. And that is a very important second step in having common sense. And the third step, probably, not only I want to avoid clash, but I want to remain happy and harmonious. How can it be? So no sooner I decide that from morning to evening, let my mind, body, speech and body not hurt any living being to the slightest extent, but let my mind, speech, and body make one and all happy. So, this resolution, in addition to avoid clashes, gives me inner vision and power, which not only makes me understand others' viewpoints, but gives me the vision how I can make the others happy. Or, and that because there is no other in the world, it is me only. When I'm interacting with you, your body has disturbing or leading to clash effect on the other, I have the disturbance within me. So there is no other in the world, it is me only, my own projection. World is my own projection and my own echo. And because I want to remain happy, my resolution is let my mind, speech, and body make one and all happy. In simpler terms, let me open the happiness shop. So I think some simple steps like this, 1, 2, 3, will lead me to the common sense, which is very good or very at a very high level. Person may have a less IQ or intellectual level, but should have a good common sense level. Vice versa, person with very high IQ, if the common sense level is low, then one will have struggle with even family members. And a very renowned scientist's autobiography says that he never was having good terms with his own wife. We don't want that situation.
Right. So one last question from me before we go on to the audience question. You mentioned speech as part of this explanation. This in our daily lives is
Yeah.
speech is a cause of a lot of clashes because words come out of our mouth that maybe the
Your
intent is
voice is
not good.
again getting it.
Okay, let me repeat this. Is this better, Shailesh?
I missed few words in between because of inter.
Let me repeat it. So how can we amend or modify or rectify our speech? Because speech is a cause of a lot of clashes
Yes,
in our daily
yes,
lives.
yes, yes. So very truly said that these words hurt more than a weapon. The weapon's wound can be healed, but the wound created by the speech takes years or sometimes the whole lifetime to be healed or sometimes never healed. So the point is, how does the speech get generated? Let's go to the root cause. Let's understand the science. The speech comes out based on my intent or codes. Now my codes may be, let me be upfront. Let me teach him or her a lesson. Then no matter how polished I try to be, the speech will be offending or will teach a lesson, or it will be perceived that he is teaching me a lesson. But if my speech is, let my speech make one and all happy. Let my speech not hurt any living being in the world. Let my speech be such that it doesn't lead to clashes, but it resolves the clashes. Then, with that intent, the understanding leads to change of inner opinions, inner bhav or inner decision, and inner intent. Effortlessly, inner opinion, inner decision, or inner projection will change, or inner intents will change. So, my previous intents looking to the world around were something like that, that I must be strict, I must be upfront, I must be telling truth on the face, because I saw the world like that. And now, when the things happen, those past intents and code words become operational, and it leads to a speech which is clashful. But now this holistic science understanding is telling me, teaching me, and I'm convinced that no, I want to avoid clash. I want to have the speech, mind, body, and speech such that all become happy and no one is hurt. And with that intent and understanding, gradually my speech will get changed. And as I said again and again, I need to take a little time within me. See, in a factory, you have many quality control tests before a product is sent out. The product is made, it is finished, but then it goes several checks and ultimately a fine packaging. The product may be small, packaging may be very nice before it is sent out, otherwise the market will not accept it. Similarly, the things, as soon as it springs within me, I should and well harmonized within, I should not send them out. It's something like that. We cannot vomit out at anywhere and everywhere. If we feel like vomiting, we go to wash basin and slowly vomit it out so that it doesn't sprinkle to other people. Similarly, before the speech gets vomited out, we should take a time. And believe me, if you take even a less than a minute pause or even few seconds pause, step back and see, tell yourself, is it all right to speak like this? What would be the effect of this? The another most important part is of the awareness is one I said, understanding intents and inner projections. The most important part, before I speak, I should try to see what would be the effect of what I'm going to speak on that particular person, on me, and on the situation as a whole. If I take a little while to realize what would be the effect of these things, believe me, it will give me the inner scope and inner understanding to rectify and modify in such a way that the effects will be harmless or it would be clashless. So with this, some simple understandings, we can readily change our speech if we really want to.
Oh, that's wonderful. Because speech is the cause of, even inner speech is cause of most of our clashes. So with that great introduction, Shailesh Anandji, we are going to move to the first question from our audience. Please go ahead.
Greetings, Shailesh Anandji. This avoid clashes is a very important topic, and you alluded to a lot of ways and means we can take care of it. But in today's fast life, our mindfulness is not there. And really speaking, I will go to the own home when most of the clashes, are occurred in the home. And we know all the things, some of the things you told, but still, clashes occur. So if you can dwell on the daily living with the family members, because I'm sitting nicely, quietly, minding my own job, whatever, and then spouse or children say something, and like without mindfulness, without pause, I just have a reaction. So if you can dwell on this simple thing, I think that will be a great help for everybody.
Yes, so you brought out a very good point that my own home is a very, you can say, my testing laboratory. Let's say that I need to win my own home. I need not go to conquer the world as a whole. I may be very highly respected in higher outside world, but what about my own home? Home where I'm living and home within me, both are interconnected. So here is a very important aspect, as Rajni Bhai said, that at home we are so relaxed or loose that we are not mindful. And the personalities in the present times especially are different. Somebody is a rose and somebody is a jasmine and somebody is a orchid and somebody is a blueberry and somebody is a strawberry, meaning thereby everybody's beliefs or personalities or habits are quite different. Somebody likes to talk less and do own business, as Rajnibai said, and somebody, wife or spouse, says, for the whole day you were out, now you have come home, at least talk to us something so that the home becomes lively. Otherwise, it appears like a cremation land. So we need to understand each other's personality, what the other's personality is like, and what the other is expecting. Somebody has to wear the blanket. So this is a nature in the present time. The nature has brought different personalities and made a garden in our home. In a previous time, they were farms. Farms means all one crop for miles together. All similar personalities were getting together in the home. All silent, so all silent. All talkative, all talkative. But in present time, the different personalities have come together. But if we look at positively or with proper understanding, a garden looks beautiful only when all different varieties are together and they are complementary and supplementary to each other. Somebody may be good at outside work, somebody may be good at in the home work, somebody may be good at accounting, and somebody may be good at purchasing. So if we look at the things, nature has gifted us different abilities and different personalities at one place. We can make use of it. Even in a harmonium, if there is only one tune of the music, it won't look good. There has to be all different tunes but playing in harmony. So at our own home we have to, and again, as I said, my wife is me only, my children are not different from me, it is me only. So when I look that it is me only, and or ours or me only, everybody is me only, the understanding changes a lot, and we can listen. And as I said, we are here to offer happiness to others. That's the bottom line. I want to have the happiness shop where my family members become happy first, and then it spreads out to my neighborhood, my society, my nations, and everywhere. So with that, and again, tell me, on we believe that I am the total owner of my mind, speech, body, my time, and what I like to do, I like to do. But if we look little carefully and little wisely, this has claims and stacks of many other people. Not only our family members, sometimes our neighbors, sometimes our colleagues, sometimes our professional people. So everybody has a stack and claim here. So we also have similar things. So it is interconnected world. So Mahavir Swami told a very simple sentence. The visionaries have a power that within few words, they give you this vision through and through, reaching all the things. So Mahavir Swami told one sentence, Parasparanu Graho Jivanam. All the living beings, including us, are interdependent, interconnected, and by obliging and making others happy, we really will be obliged ourselves and we really become happy. So we have to apply these visions right at our home, that this is a beautiful garden and they are all me only, and let me make them happy first, then I'm going to be happy first.
You
So
said a very interesting thing which we like to dwell on. You said, my spouse, my children are me
yes,
only. I mean,
yes,
that is because I'm a different flower than my spouse and my children. How can we try to be me in me, so avoid the clashes then?
yes. So this is very, very important. I know that this may take a while, but when it comes, all the puzzles, there will be no puzzles. As long as there are you and me, there are going to be some differences, some puzzles, something like that. But as soon as I realize it is me only, now how? Let's look from two perspectives. First perspective is relative or our interconnected, interactive daily dealings, which we say as vyavhar. And as I said, I realized that no sooner my mind, speech, or body, before making any allegation or before hurting others, it does disturb me. And before making others happy, no sooner I say you are a nice person, I have a lot of love for you. Before even I express, my heart becomes full of love. My face becomes smiling before even I express out. And before I say that leave me alone, you are always banging my head, before I express, my face will be frowned and there will be disturbance within me. So even by interconnected dealings, because it affects me first, it is me only and my own world or my own projection. And if we look from the other second perspective, which is the elemental perspective, what's my real true self is a pure conscious or a pure self. Similarly, everybody's real self is pure conscious or pure self. So by very virtue of properties, by virtue of elemental nature, we are all one as far as the nature of our real self is concerned. So that's second perspective. So from the both perspectives, from the simpler relative dealing or the daily dealing or interconnected living perspective, also I realize that the world is me only. And from the real, my own natures, my real self nature perspective, also I realize that the world is me only. I believe and I agree that my intellect may come in between in experiencing this, but no sooner the intellect tries to create some problems, my wisdom will come up and give the answer. Wait, Shailesh, a minute. He or she is different from you by from your own happiness. Do you want that? It is in your interest or in somebody else's interest. So it is in my interest, it is in husband's interest to be nice and taking care of the wife, that the wife's mind doesn't get hurt. It is in wife's interest to take care that the husband is not hurt or disturbed. So it is, though it is mutual, it is me only.
Thank you very much. I think it'll be need a little bit of practice to see, that the rose flower, how to see a rose flower in other people also.
Yeah, no, that's not the really the way we want to see me only. That's where actually it is leading to problems, because the human mind says why he or she is not like not me. Somebody is punctual, so say, why you are not punctual? Why you leave the things here and there?
Yeah. Yes.
No, that's the very basis of the conflicts, because all flowers cannot be same. And if I go to the subtle part of the science, because space is different for everybody, there are going to be differences. There was a beautiful small event which happened in a real life. A small boy asked the holistic scientist that why the faces of all these people are different. Women, because the faces are same. And the message was conveyed. Then he went to the real truth that because everybody's space is different, everybody's atomic and molecular configuration is going to be different, and there are going to be differences at all levels of thoughts, of beliefs, of perceptions, and also the physical characteristics to a lesser or a greater extent. And if it is not there, there will be no beauty of living. We have to see me only by way of our interconnected dealing, that what is my intention? Is it to make others happy? Is it to teach others lesson? And then it is affecting me. So based on my basic understandings or fundamentals or intents and effects occurring on me first and then on others, I experience that the world is me only. And everybody says that world is my own accord. Everybody talks of Newton's third principle, that whatever goes as action comes back as reaction. But I say that suppose I have said you are a nice person, and you may not say me you are a nice person. You may have something different in your mind. So action in our daily living may not come as a reaction always same. But I say that even before the action goes out, there is inner reaction or there is inner reflection. Even before I say you are a nice person, my heart is happy and full and joyous and positive. Even before I say you are a useless, my heart is negative and suffering negativity or suffering disturbance. So by this way, I believe or I experience that the world is me only, not by way of trying to find out what I believe is good. Everybody should be believing as good. This is where the beliefs and personalities come in. Our personality is bundle of beliefs and effects occurring out of beliefs. And even my beliefs are changing. What I had 5 years back, what I had 2 months back, what I had few minutes back may be different than what I have, and maybe different tomorrow, or maybe different 5 years down the line. So how can I expect the others' belief to mirror? There's a another beautiful example. Except in the mirror, how can I find another Shailesh in the world? So similarly, this is a fallacy, or this is a point where we are missing, that I'm trying to find everybody like me, or fitting into my design, or fitting into my manufacturing sort of what you can say model, that everybody should fit into that. And there I'm losing the beauty of enjoying diversity. There I'm losing the beauty of complementary and supplementary roles of every, or fragrance or qualities of different fruits and flowers, and can make best use of it as a one team, rather than complaining you don't know that or she doesn't know that. So this is the understanding, that
Yes.
know and use the positivity
Yes,
which
thank you.
everyone has.
Thank you very much. You really opened up the ideas that I need to look, if I'm a rose, I need to look at the other's characteristic instead of looking at the rose's character. So beautiful. Thank you very much. I hope this will be really helpful. Thank you.
In a
So we
book,
move on.
in a
Go
bouquet
ahead.
also, in a bouquet also, we mostly put different flowers so that the bouquet looks nice. So please go ahead.
That summarizes, I think, everything you said, Shailesh Anji, before. On to the next question from the audience. Go ahead.
Yeah. Hello, Shailesh Anandji. Yeah, my question is the clashes that occurs most of the time is when we try to prove ourselves or our opinion true when we are in a group of something. So, but sometimes it is necessary to speak something or to say something. It's not always that we keep quiet so that things like go on smooth, but sometimes there is a need to speak, like in a
Yes.
professional career as well when we are in
Okay.
office.
So I understand your
Yeah,
question. Suppose you are
yeah,
a, that we need to convey. Yes, I agree. But there is a way to convey. There is a way to do your role as a manager. There is a your way to do your role as a team leader. And there are two ways. Broadly speaking, there are many shades in between, but broadly speaking, there are two ways. My way or highway, come or leave. And you know that that doesn't really work very well. And at the back of you, no sooner you turn your back, the people will try to do something different. So the another way, which many even business houses are trying to explore and adopt this policy, that how can I keep the people together with love? And it is on my part, my ability or my understanding or my should be such that I am able to put forward my vision or my things in such a way that others' hearts will accept it. It should not be by force, it should not be by adamancy, it should not be by power. It can be, but it doesn't work well in a longer run. Rather, I decide that let me be friendly with everybody, let me be open and truthful and honest with everybody. And if I have a more headlight, if my headlight is powerful in a natural scheme, first I'll try to listen. Okay, guys or friends, what are your suggestions and what are your views? Having heard the others' views or other suggestions, most of the times what happens, we are not ready to listen to others' views or others' opinions, and we just thrust upon or stamp upon our opinions. So the other's ego gets disturbed. See, believe me, the master key is there are only two things. If you want to have a good teamwork, there are only two things. Either the ego is hurt or either the ego is taken care of, boosted, and brought together. Whatever way you want to adapt, try to see that human management is nothing but first and foremost ego management. So I decide that let me be friendly, let me be truthful, let me be honest and open, and let me hear everybody's views, and then I will express my views and leave the things open. And believe me, most of the times, if my egoism is not being projected there, if my insistence is not being projected, instead my friendliness, lovingness, truthfulness, and openness is seen, the other people also will heartily accept it. And once heartily accepted, even in my absence, they will do it well. Because then it is not my story, it is our story. It is every and the things will not fall well. So take your own time, try to explain, persuade, do everything. And most of the times, rather than becoming insistent or adamant, we can say, okay, friends, I feel that this way it will work well. But since you are all saying, or many of you are saying this, let's try that way. And you walk few steps. If the mother nature is there, will change something or will make something experience. So it's worthwhile experiencing also. Give others a chance that, okay, though I'm not convinced, I'm ready, happily ready to walk the way you are suggesting, and let's see what happens. So this way also it happens, and ultimately we have to understand that neither we, neither they all are independent to do all or anything. It's the grand scheme of Mother Nature where we all are there as instruments. So it comes down to the ego ultimately. I am, and I am the doer, and I am the controller, and I understand the. See, the second catch point is, first catch point was I am right. The second catch point of everyone's of our personality is what I understand is better than others. Everybody feels that what I understand is better than others. So this is causing all the problems.
Yeah. Okay, got it. Yeah, nice explanation. Thank you.
So we move on to the next question
Those
from the
things.
audience. Please go ahead.
Yes, Achilon Shailesh Anandji.
Jai Satchidanand.
So I want to ask you, sometimes if we are getting into clashes because the other person is having some opinions which you feel are not correct, and they want you to accept that opinion, and you absolutely know that it is not correct opinion, then how do you avoid that kind of clash?
Very good question. So the holistic science says, I am responsible for myself. Part one. Part two, shall I improve others? Can I improve others? Mostly not. I have to improve myself. So it is on my side that I decide that I want to avoid clash or I want to resolve the situation amicably with equanimity. Having said that, when the others' viewpoints are so much forceful, they want us to accept that and they're forcing us. Because I'm steady from within, because I have my clarity and my intents, the inside light will show me the way out. I'll ask, okay, you are saying me to do this, but what should we have those sort of consequences? So what I'm trying to say is the other side may be very aggrieved, very aggressive, very forceful. Maintaining our steadiness, cool and calm, and our clarity, we try to decipher the situation by vision, looking at all the different aspects and discussing the different aspects to the extent possible. And having done our duty of explaining and discussing and all the aspects, then we have the choice. If it is not a very big thing, sometimes we can leave out. Okay, let's do as per you, though I'm not convinced. Okay, you take up the lead role and I'll help you. And let's see what happens. But if the role is very decisive and we can't, because on one side there are one or two people, and other side there are many other people or situations which are going to be harmed, then gently, politely, with utmost humility, we can say that I wish not to have difference with you, but on other side, this is a situation. So with apology, I'm doing this, something like that. And at the end, I have inner brush within me. Suppose you and me have some clash, even though I tried to avoid and I tried to do everything, and still I ended up into that clash. So then I will have inner rectification measure, that I'll see pure self within you, which is free of mind, speech, body, name, belonging, attachments, and all karmic bonds. And I'll say that, oh, pure self within you, I didn't want to have the clash or didn't want to hurt you, but it has happened. I apologize for that. I beg pardon. Decide not to do it again. Give me the inner understanding and inner wisdom and inner strength so that I can resolve the situation amicably and doesn't enter the clash again. So I think with this many things, we can go ahead, and then whatever is still left out, as I said, I'm responsible for myself. I cannot control everybody. Even I'm not able to control my mind, speech, and body. So how can I control everybody? I'm responsible for myself and my intents, even not for happening. Sometimes we decide, we have intent, we have all the genuine efforts, but the happenings may go other way around because there is a science. Happenings occur by accumulation and dispersion of so many circumstantial evidences coming together in a scientific way, where I am the instrumental doer and not the independent doer. So that's fine. Having done everything, whatever has happened, I have to accept that whatever has happened is just and correct. And still, if somebody is hurt, as I said, I will do the confession, apology, and resolution from within, and that should be sufficient for me. But believe me, once the world is my own echo, my own vibrations are going to other people. So 90% of the times, once my inside is correct, once my inside is clash free and positive and loving for the other people, the vibrations will act sooner or later on the other people and will set the situation right. Sometimes we say why the other people are behaving like this, but we don't look within us, that what we are harboring within us, what are the vibrations going from within us, what are the opinions we are holding for them, what are the things. So unless I rectify myself within, I cannot expect to have the situation as per my correctness outside.
Yes, Sachin.
We have time for one more question from the audience. Please go ahead.
Hello, Dr. Shailesh Anandji. And I'm referring this to Mitul's question in a professional situation where we are, in a teamwork, and you said that you have to voice your opinion, and also you mentioned about vomiting, like analogy to vomiting. But I have that understanding right now. I understand it, but when you are in that situation, the atmosphere
Again, the
is
voice
hot
is
in the meeting. The atmosphere is hot, and that
The
control
voice
is not there.
reaching me. Can you
Let
repeat
me
that?
try and ask. Go ahead, Mind, repeat it.
So, hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Okay.
yes, please.
Let me repeat. Let me try one more time. So I'm referencing to Mitul's question before in a professional
No,
situation.
again you are interrupted.
Let me type it out.
Mind, why don't you type it up and I'll ask it on. So I think essentially what Shailesh Anandji Mind is saying is get into the heat of the situation when both parties are really at the height of their tempers. There are things kind of going back and forth. How do you in a professional situation where
Okay, so here
there
it
is
brings to another good principle of management. Manish bhai.
Yeah.
Can everybody hear me?
I think there was a little interruption. Now I think we can. Go ahead, Swami.
Okay. So there is
Swami, go ahead.
another beautiful thing. If I can manage myself, my manage the
Shailesh Anandji, you're
outside.
breaking off.
Yeah, I think it's some internet or technology issue. The fundamental principle is one who can manage one's own self, mind, speech, body, and things occurring within, can manage everybody. The whole world is trying to manage the outside situation without managing one's own self. So the crux of the story is when the things are heated up, I have to go back to my own self and calm down Shailesh, mind, speech, body, make Shailesh's inside relative inner self clear and calm, and then interact with the other people. So Mahavir Swami summed up this whole story in one sentence. He conquered his own relative self, or he conquered the world within, and he was the conqueror of the whole universe. I have to work within myself, work within for having my anger, greed, pride, deceit, my opinions, and my wrong beliefs. I have to work on all these things, and everything will be worked out outside effortlessly. But as long as I don't know, as long as playing role, whether my greed is playing role, believe me, I cannot be successful totally in handling the outside situation. But once I know this holistic in science, discover the world within, know the world within first, then you will have art and science of dealing with the world within. And believe me, the world outside is our own echo. So much so that even if somebody has come in a fighting mode, and if you are nice and fine and clear and quiet from within, his all aggression will die down and he will not be able to throw the words of aggression. Such is the power of the inner world over the outer world. That's the last message which I think all the visionaries and enlightened people gave us, that in all the different situations, they are giving you the scope to know yourself and to test yourself and to know your weaknesses and to know your incorrectness and to work upon it and make it correct. Am I right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, I think this the end of this this talk. Dr. Shailesh Anandji, thanks for expounding on the holistic science. I think the topic today was really, really interesting, avoiding clashes and very practical. We experience a lot of these clashes in personal and professional situations, and you gave us some real powerful master keys to dealing with those situations. So I hope everybody can join us, which will be in November, third Sunday, 10 o'clock Central Time. And we will be talking further about happiness, and we'll try and get into other master keys offered by holistic science. Also, if you need more information about holistic science, please visit our website, .org. It has a lot of articles and also some PDFs that you can download for your own reference. Joining from all over the world. And thanks again, Shailesh Anandji, for giving us some master keys for happiness.
Thank you.
This concludes our call. Thanks.